Good morning. Welcome to another live feed on Shopman's YouTube channel. Let's get into it, man. The 50 most dynamic duels in sports history. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey. Bill Terry and Mel Ott. The New York Giants, Bill Terry and Mel Ott found themselves being overshadowed much of the time by another pair of New York sluggers in Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. Played their home games just a few miles away from the Polo Grounds at Yankee Stadium. Nevertheless, over a 7-year period, beginning in 1929 and ended 1935, Bill Terry and Mel Ott proved easily to be the National League's most prolific offensive tandem, making their team perennial contenders in the senior circuit. Bill Terry appeared briefly with the Giants in both 1923 and 1924 before joining the team for good in 1925. The lefty swinging first baseman played in 133 games, his first full season, batting .319, driving in 70 runs, scoring 75 others. With future Hall of Famer George Kelly serving as New York's regular first baseman in 1926. Terry assumed a part-time role, splitting his time between first base and the outfield. Terry finally supplanted Kelly as the team's everyday first baseman the following year, maintaining a stronger hold on the position of the ninth season. Terry gave the Giants outstanding addition from his number 3 spot in the batting order, 1927, 1928, surpassing 100 runs batted in, 100 runs scored. Both seasons while compiling a .326 batting average each year. He used his soft hands, silky moves around the bat to quickly establish him as the senior circuit's top fielding first baseman. Terry developed into the National League's premier first stacker. Diminutive outfielder on the Giants began to emerge as one of the league's top sluggers. Standing only at 5'9", weighing only 170 pounds, Mel Ott first came up to New York at the age of 17 in 1926. Used sparingly his first 2 seasons, Ott became a regular member of New York's lineup in 1928, getting 18 home runs, driving in 77 runs, and batting .322 in 124 games. Ott had the most productive year of his career the following season, so 1929. Placed among the leaders in 6 offensive categories. 1929, 42 home runs, 151 RBIs, 328 average, 138 runs, 635 slugging percentage, 449 on base percentage. Ott finished second in the National League in home runs and runs batted in. Placed third in runs scored. Again, Mel Ott finished second in the National League in home runs batted in, placed third in runs scored on base percentage, slugging percentage, led the league with 113 walks, including an unusual batting style that included high leg kick, lefty swing. Ott learned how to take full advantage of the Polo Grounds, short right field porch, quickly pulling the ball into the stands over the 257-foot sign. Thanks for letting people tune in. Thanks for hitting the like button. Whoever may concern, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Meanwhile, Terry sprayed the ball all over the park, hitting only 14 home runs that year, but drove in 117 runs, scoring another 103 batting 372, accumulating 226 hits. 1930 still stands as a National League record. He had 254 hits in 1930. Terry became the last player in the senior circuit to bat over 400, finishing second in the batting race in each of the next 2 years. Failing to win the batting title in 1931, but merely percentage points, Terry topped the circuit that year with 20 triples. Ott led the National League in on-base percentage in both 1930 and 1932. Tied the league lead with 38 home runs in the second of those 2 years. Yet the Giants finished 7th in the National League in 1932. The only time they finished lower than third, while Terry and Ott served as regular members of their starting lineups. Terry remained the team's starting first baseman another 3 years, batting over 300 each season, representing the National League as he started at the position each of the first 3 All-Star games. He served as a part-time player, manager in his final season. Time from the game at the end of the 1936 campaign. Last time batting average 341. Terry batted over 350 4 times during his career. Come out more than 200 hits 6 times. Drove in more than 100 runs 6 times. Scored more than 100 runs on several separate occasions. Terry's career drew to a close boxing after a solid 1933 season of diminutive slugger, posted exceptional numbers from 1934 to 1938. Right, so overall, when we look at Bill, Terry, Mel Ott, they spent 7 seasons together as everyday players on the Giants from 1929 to 1935. Terry batted over 300 each of those years, surpassed 350 on 4 separate occasions. He drove in more than 100 runs 4 times during that period. He scored more than 100 runs 5 times. Ott surpassed 100 runs batting in each of those years. Top 30 home runs 4 times. Scored more than 100 runs 6 times. And batted over 300 5 times. From 1929 to 1932. Terry and Ott combined to average 246 runs batted in, 243 runs scored per season. They were at their best together in 1931 1932. In the first of those years, Terry led the league with 121 runs scored, 20 triples. He also placed in the top 5 in 6 other offensive categories. Ott led the league in packed walks and finished in the top 5 in 4 other categories. 1932. Ott topped the circuit in home runs, walks, and on-base percentage. He finished in the top 5 in another 5 categories, and Terry placed second in batting average and runs scored, hits, total bases. He finished third in home runs and slugging percentage. Both Terry and Ott were named to the National League All-Star team for each of them first 3 contests. He also helped lead the Giants to the 1933 World Series Championship to the 1936 National League pennant. They finished second place, 1928, 1931, 1934. All right, so that's it, man. Tomorrow be in chapter 20. Talking about Derek Jeter and Bernie Williams of New York Yankees. That definitely was a dynamic duo. We talk about that tomorrow. It's a team on the countdown to 50 most dynamic duos in sports history. Baseball, basketball, football, and hockey. Best yet to come. So until then, thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for doing that. Hopefully you subscribe to the channel during this live stream. We'll be back at 1 o'clock. Continue on the top 50 greatest groups in hip-hop history. Book that I wrote a decade ago. I'm going to be at number 11, so most close to the countdown. I'll be able to finish that tomorrow. That countdown, you'll know who I had as the number 1 greatest group in hip-hop history. Until then, talk to you soon.